Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Straight up, give me another It's the Key challenge. You know what Wisdom Churchill said. You know what Wisdom Churchill said. When you're going through heck, don't stop, buddy. 24 hours, 00E2. Don't mind if I do. If I ever wanted to get an E2 at 4 in the morning, there's really no other option, is there? Controversial opinion. Yes, automation is potentially gonna have devastating effects on human existence. I mean, there's already people back, you know, in the day when self-checkouts first started to exist, everyone was excited, and then we were like, wait a minute. For every one of these self-checkouts, somebody's losing their job. Now that we got the self-checkouts actually working properly, and you don't need, like, 2 staff members to come by and service each one every time somebody comes to them. You're like, somebody might be losing their job. However, is it worth it if every store is now open 24 hours and my consumerist desires can be sated at any given time of the day and or night? I gotta be real with you, there's a lot of times when I'm like, I wake up a little late. I'm still in that, like, jet lag period where I'm like, if I wake up at 1 p.m., I can be like, well, my brain still thinks it's 4 a.m. because I'm on Korean time. What are you idiot? You're just picking up all the consumables, you moron. Get out of here. I didn't even, like, start that one off on the right foot. Okay, don't be stupid this time. Be smarter. This is not a joke. We live in a fairly major city. I mean, it's not a fairly major city. It's one of Canada's 3 biggest cities. Oh, well, I live in Jakarta, where the population density is 300 million people per square kilometer. Well, you know what? More power to you. How's Jakarta? I've never been. I don't know why I keep sounding like I'm being sarcastic here. I'm actually, you know, I'm interested to hear your opinion on the place that you live. But anyway, the point is, things stay open relatively late here. I routinely go grocery shopping. The grocery store that we go to most often closes at like 11 p.m. But there are still some times where I'm like, oh, the grocery store closes soon. I guess I better, you know, finish work so I can go grocery shop, like tailor my schedule around their schedule. What are you? Yeah, but what are you? Because, like, what are you, though? You're like little baby hushes. I've never seen that before. I don't want to touch the pills. They frighten me verily. Everything should be open 24 hours, you know? I know that this is very unreasonable. It's an incredibly privileged view on life, but at the same time, I believe it. I hate that, this is a great injustice on planet Earth right now. Oh, is he going to talk about the growing income inequality or something along those lines? No, I'm going to talk about how if you go out to eat after, like, 8 p.m., all the good restaurants are closed. You only got like one choice in the whole city for each different kind of food item. I didn't even see that there was an exit here. Hello, my Tomo friend. You were having a good time taking a nap, and then I started to shout about stuff that doesn't matter, and now you want to leave. Okay, you may leave. You may leave. I will allow you this blessing. Goodbye, my Tomo friend. He's probably just He's probably just gonna get a drink of water and then come back. I got jet lag throat right now, too. I fell asleep last night. I was super tired. Like, again, I fell to the young man's hubris. Despite being Soldier 76, I'm not a young man anymore. I was like, I'm not jet lagged. 17-hour time difference? Who cares? It doesn't matter at all. And then I put on this Netflix show called Ugly Delicious. They were talking about, you know, what makes a pizza, and some mad Japanese dude was putting, like, you know, Wagyu beef and fatty tuna on top of a hot dog bun and going, this is real pizza. And I was like, I'm losing my mind. I can't tell if it's a fever dream or if it's a real show. And I was out like a light. We can take it, but we can't take the penny. It's just a range upgrade, or, yeah, just a range upgrade. Then next thing I knew, somebody in my right ear, because I usually fall asleep with headphones in, listening to something to distract me from, you know, whatever anxiety is plaguing me that day, and lull me into a temporary restful state, which is really probably, like, the most depressing way to describe sleep. A temporary restful state, but anyway. It's objectively also a good definition. It fits the bill. Except when it's permanent, but that's, you know, that's more troubling than the alternative. They're talking to me about, you know, tacos and, you know, mole and stuff like that, and then Kate woke me up and was like, hey, you're snoring, you should stop snoring, and I was like, ah! My body's all messed up, dude. It's all good. We'll recover. A 17-hour time difference is like the worst time difference, I think, to come back from. I know this isn't a very necessarily relatable anecdote, but that means when, you know, it's noon, it's 5 a.m. I know that I will take it, but it scares me. So right now it's 1:30 p.m., but my brain is kind of like, hey, it's like 6 a.m., you should be asleep. And I'm like, nah, though, it's okay. I should definitely be awake. It's 1:30 p.m. And it's like, yeah, why don't you just sleep? I worry, like, I genuinely think that one day I'll go to, I was gonna say Antarctica. That doesn't make any sense, though, because it's, like, on the South Pole. It might be the same time zone as, like, Toronto or something like that. But anyway, do they even, what time zone have they chosen for Antarctica? They have their pick of the litter, I assume, right? Does it really matter? Do you have any appointments in Antarctica that you need to get to at a given time? Hey, meet me at the ice sculpture. Meet me at McMurdo Station at, really just mosey on over whenever you get a chance. I'm gonna open this library back here. I kind of want it to be Book of Belial, I think. That's not a library, it's an Isaac's room. But I worry that one day I'm just gonna, my body's gonna be like, you know what? You live 17 hours offset now, and I'm just never gonna recover from that jet lag. That's why, like, I think whenever you come back from a different time zone, you gotta punish yourself for like a day or two. You gotta be like, no matter what, no matter how tired I get, I'm gonna try to stick to a normal domestic schedule. Because if you just let your body decide, it's stupid. It doesn't know. Back in the day, jet lag didn't exist, you know? You didn't travel one time span over the course of your entire existence. You know, you might say, well, you know, ancient human beings, you know, they walked from over the Bering Strait. They walked from, oh, yeah, we can take that. And I don't think we want this. I'll take it, but I don't think it does much for us. They walked over the Bering Strait from Russia to Alaska. That's how North America got its first peoples. To be honest, I'm not much of an anthropologist, but I believe that is the conventional wisdom right now of how things happen. But it wasn't like one dude walked over the Bering Strait, and then when he arrived, he was like, oh, that was a long trip, I'm happy to be here. Like, they lived on the ice floes. You know, there's that, I think it's a Louis C.K. bit, which is, you know, kind of not in fashion in the year 2018, but anyway, it's like, you know, when you traveled across the country in like the pioneer days, the people you arrived with were not the same people you left with. You know, people had died, people had been born, and people had grown up by the time you got there. Now we're like, oh, I'm just taking the red-eye to Shanghai. She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. It is amazing. Like, the flight to and from Korea from Vancouver is long. The way there is like 11 hours, the way back's like 9. We can take this for a tier 8 upgrade. But in the end, like, you're really sitting down on a chair and watching, like, 6 movies, and then you're done. Now, I don't want to watch 6 movies. I want to be at my destination. But this was kind of just a happy truce, I think, that we've had with society for a while. That we're like, sure, I'll fly, and the biggest inconvenience is that I'll be bored, or if I'm, like, nervous about flying, maybe I'll be a little anxious. That's fine. But now that Elon Musk is talking about, you know, using SpaceX rockets to shoot people in a low Earth orbit, and then, you know, you can fly from New York to China in like 20 minutes, I gotta start to face the facts. You know, if we end up in that tax bracket, would I rather spend 20 minutes on a white-knuckle rocket ship that is gonna scare the bejesus out of me? Why do I have 2 cents? Where did this second penny come from? You know what? I'm gonna roll with it. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna start. There's no way for me to have gotten that second penny without having picked up a penny. Like Dad's Lost Coin, it doesn't give you, it drops a penny, which we did not pick up, but it doesn't increment your penny count by 1. I think I walked into a penny. We're just gonna try to make this run work at this point. Oh, it's the key. I hate you. We still have other things to do, though. You know, we need to, use the sun card, and now I'm picking up all consumables. And maybe that I'm overthinking it, like, maybe the penny did show up thanks to Dad's lost key or something like that, but life goes on. We still need to use the sun card with the blank card, which I'm kind of surprised we've never had the opportunity to do. And we still need to use the Bible to kill Mom, maybe, unless we did that super early and I've forgotten. Anyway. Even assuming they were the same price, which I don't think they would be, I'm probably going to end up being that dude who's like, if this ever happens, you know, and the rocket ship transportation ever comes to pass, I'll be the dude who's like John Madden, you know? John Madden, famously afraid of flying, he takes the bus to all the Monday Night Football games. I think he retired like 10 years ago, but as a kid, I was like, John Madden, you are an idiot. You got a Monday night game in Tampa Bay, Florida, and then the next Monday night game is in San Francisco, California. You're gonna be on a tour bus for like, you know, 40 hours of driving to get there? That's ridiculous. Just fly. It's like a 4-hour flight. You watch 2 movies, you're there. Eat a meal. Enjoy yourself. I'm gonna be that guy. They'll be like, Dad, I don't want to fly to Seoul. It's 13 hours. We could just take a SpaceX. We'll be there in 45 minutes. Oh, I don't know, though. Those rocket ships, Dad! I don't know why my son sounds like that. Dad! What are you afraid of? You're more likely to die on the way to the rocket launch pad than you are on the rocket. Well, I understand that, sir, or son. I'm not calling my son sir. That's too far. I understand that, son, but, you know, it's all about the loss of control, you know? When you feel like you're in control of the situation, it's a little different, and... Dad! It's okay! They give you a G-Force air sickness bag. You'll be fine. I want to see Robot EXO perform Shoop-Dooba-Dooba-Doop. I don't know anything about K-pop, except that Jack Black video that is the purest form of entertainment, where the guys from Infinity Challenge give Jack Black K-pop songs, and then he sings them and they try to guess which one it is. Don't watch this video. Go watch that Jack Black video. It's 10 out of 10 entertainment, I promise. Anyway. I think the trick is, like, if you, like, don't want to be afraid of something, you gotta do it when you're a kid. Like, I was afraid of flying for a long time. And I would talk to friends of mine. And they would be like, I'm not afraid of flying at all. And the common experience that united them was that, you know, they flew when they were like 2 years old. And as a result, it always seemed mundane to them. I literally got on an airplane for the first time when I was maybe 20. Straight up. I'm only 29 now. I've only had like less than a decade of having experienced air travel. As a 20-year-old, you got stuff to live for. You get on that airplane and you're like, oh my god, we're extremely high up in the air. Who would have thought? Oh, a sneeze is coming up. I told you! You know what? I'm ready. You ever get in that situation where you're like, oh, I got mucus in my nose, but I don't want to do the gross, like, mucus sound on camera because it's going to gross people out, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep up this dialogue and pretend to be using my nerd voice when this is actually my real voice right now because I'm so congested. And then if you'll, hey, could you, excuse me, could you just pass away here, please, so I can actually, I need to mute my microphone for a second if you don't mind. If you, excuse me, sir, thank you. Okay, one moment, please. Fantastic. So much better. Try not to think about the sounds that must have been coming out of my, pharyngeal region. Well, I had you muted there, but it's a good thing. Now I sound normal again. Human body sucks, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for the future. I'm always amazed when people are like, you know who's guilty of this? And by guilty, I mean, it's not really anything to be guilty about. It's more like just unfettered optimism. But Malf is like the most optimistic dude I know about the future. Like, if you ask him, hey, when do you think artificial intelligence is going to surpass human intelligence? Like, what year? He would probably be like, it hasn't already? 2019, maybe? And I'm over here, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, you know? If you're asking me, when do I think we're going to be able to, like, you know, put our brain inside of the cloud and live forever? I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I want that to be clear. However, we still sort of can't make printers work reliably. So I don't even want to be in the cloud. I've always said, you know, some people take the alternate opinion here. Eternal life, I think I'm in. I'm totally in for eternal life. I know people go, well, wouldn't it suck to live forever? And, you know, sometimes you might want to die. And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't experienced that yet. You know, for the most part, I want to live. So, it feels like, to me, eternal life is a solid thing. But the one situation in which eternal life might be worse than death is if your brain gets, like, uploaded to the cloud, and then you end up getting, like, hacked in some kind of Blade Runner 2049-esque scenario, and all of a sudden, like, I'd say, all I can imagine now, because, you know, this video is going to date itself by the tone of this commentary, but it's like, hey, we uploaded all your brains to the cloud, and oh no, there's been a data breach, and now all of your cognitive power is used for Bitcoin mining forever, for all eternity. In that case, I might rather just be in the ground, but, or, you know, a pile of ash, but I'll accept it either way. But for the most part, I'm like pro-eternal life, but, it really does come down to, like, you know, Fermi's great filter. I got that, but for printers. Fermi's great printer. Thermi's great printer, more like. It's like, as soon as I can get an HP printer to spool properly, my optimism about uploading my brain into the cloud is gonna go up, like, literally 1,000%. I'm gonna be all in. On my deathbed, here's what I'm gonna do. They're gonna be like, oh, excuse me, Mr. Letourneau. You've lived a great life. You're the greatest Prime Minister Canada's ever seen, and also still handsome, even in your triple-digit age. But it's time to go, you know? Save some resources for the rest of us. So do you want us to upload your brain to the cloud? Bring me my laptop, please. And then I'll type hello world into a Microsoft Office 2095 document, and I'll hit Control P. And if I hear from the other room, I'll say, I'm ready. Upload me. If I have to hit Control P 5 times and it still doesn't spool and the document comes out with it prints like a barcode instead of printing out hello world, then I'm just let me go. It's my time. I can't believe we're alive on this run, by the way. I think it was the Tinted Rock back there. Should go back for that. This run is just, it's a disaster now. It's commentary focused, because we failed It's the Key. And I gotta be honest, I'm not really 100% convinced in the power of our actual run right now, because of the fact that I deliberately took soy milk. I kinda thought it might work out okay, because we have Eye of Belial. Well, I guess we got Eye of Belial afterwards, but because we have piercing shots from Death's Touch and, you know, I thought our damage might be decent, but I don't know. That appears to have not been completely correct. There's a famous quote from former American President Jimmy Carter. I believe it's something along the lines of, like, for the first time in recorded history. This is from, like, 1977 or something like that. For the first time in recorded history, people, or at least Americans at the time, were more pessimistic about the next 5 years than they were optimistic. So the idea was, if you ask people, this is in the, like, height of the Cold War, basically, but if you ask people, you know, do you think the 5 years following this year are going to be better or worse than the 5... Oh, what did I hit Q by accident there? I think I did. Are going to be better or worse than the 5 years previous. More people said they would be worse than said they would be better, which, you know, is kind of... We have this narrative that, you know, things are always going to get better. You know, technology's going to get better, medicine's going to get better, education's going to get better, etc., etc. We have this kind of idea that, you know, there's like an upward trajectory to progress in society. And then this study made people go like, or this survey at least made people go like, hold up. What are we doing wrong, I guess? How do you feel about that? By the way, have you noticed how fast Sprinkler is spinning here? This is hilarious. I feel like... Definitely, like 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh my god, I'm so excited for 2012 to 2017. I guess 5 years ago is actually 2013, but you get the gist of it. Now I'm like, I don't know, dude, I'm 50-50. It's not due to, like, the current political climate. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Like, is it me getting older and just being like, things are pretty good? And they can't possibly get better, so they must get worse? Or is it, you know... I don't know. Maybe it's... I've been watching too much Black Mirror, but I'm not... I think I might be in that Jimmy Carter camp right now, where I'm like... Maybe it's gonna get worse. And I say that with a smile on my face. I'm looking for a... Oh, no. A Serpent's Kiss is so good, but it's just not... We can't do it as the Lost. Although we could fill that room with sprinklers if we lived through the first few bosses. I don't mean to be, like, overtly negative. Because I you know, even if the next 5 years are worse than the previous 5 years, I had, like, a pretty good previous 5 years. Like, I've pretty much been living my version of the dream. Like, I wake up at whatever time, and then I record The Binding of Isaac. And that's, you know, it really describes 2012 to 2017 for me. So, like, even if it's worse than that, it could still be pretty good, but... Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because I spend too much time on Twitter, man. I'm like, I don't believe in humanity anymore. What I believe in is a few exceptional humans are gonna eventually come up with, like, empathetic robots that are gonna, like, take the best parts of humanity, and that's gonna be, like, the way that we push ourselves forward. I say this, by the way, as someone who is a self-confessed idiot. So these are not, like, bold future predictions. This is just me spitballing. But I'm like, yeah, empathetic robots, benevolent robots, that's what I'm looking forward to. I think we might get there. I don't know. We still got a long way to go, because again, we got the whole printer philosophy still. I want to keep that in mind. I am genuinely, because people are like, well, what if robots, you know, what if a rogue AI kind of took over the world? You know, what if its programming was like the best thing for... We always do the best thing for the maximum number of people, and it turned out the best thing for the maximum number of people was to, like, eliminate humanity somehow. You laugh! But that's the plot of, like, many films. Anyway. Many no-sleep stories. You know, 5 years ago I was like, that's bad. That would be bad if that happened. Now I'm like, I don't know, maybe the robots... Maybe it'd be okay. I mean, it would suck because, you know, all of humanity would be wiped out, but maybe they could save Earth for, like, a cooler race of intelligent life that shows up later. And they'd be like, oh my god, a nearly unfettered planet that only has one single computer terminal located on it. And then, when they landed, the computer terminal would just flash, "You're welcome," and then fade into existence. Like, my work here is done. Head downwards here. It's a surprisingly dire commentary. I didn't mean it to be that way. I'm not, like, misanthropic, even though I just said maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if humanity as we knew it was wiped out by a malevolent artificial intelligence entity, but it's more I'm just spitballing, dude. I think the other thing is, like, in 1995, if you would ask me, hey, how are things gonna look in the year 2000? First off, I would have been like, I don't know, dude, I'm 7, so why are you asking me? It sounds like you got bigger problems if you're asking, like, a a child what you think the world's gonna be like in the year 2000. But I would have given you like one or two answers. One of the answers would have been like, I wonder what the next Nintendo console would be like. And the answer is, it wouldn't have even been out yet. The GameCube didn't come out till like 2001. No, 2003. Maybe? I'm trying to think now. Anyway, it's irrelevant. The other thing I would have said is, I don't know, maybe we'll have flying cars. So the general gist of this anecdote is I just wouldn't have known what I was talking about. But I think I would have thought that the world was going to be like largely similar to what it's like. And it probably still will be, but I don't know, man. I don't know at this point. Like, I feel like in 2012, when I thought about technology, I was like, oh my god, imagine if Netflix had all the Marvel movies. That would be the greatest thing ever. And now in 2018, I'm like, you mean everybody's data is just online forever? All their private information is just there for you to... Maybe it's not worth the Marvel movies. I'm just kidding. It's worth the Marvel movies. Have you seen Thor Ragnarok? It's a classic. Taika Waititi. Even though it's a little formulaic, it still gets the job done, you know that. Okay, hey, you, get off of my cloud. And also, I'm really worried about the brimstone beam. I'm really genuinely concerned about this brimstone beam. Yep. I was right to be concerned. Well, that episode was pretty much just a straight mess front to back. Hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Go humans.